Good afternoon and welcome to Midday Met. I'm Scanzo Raquel.
And I'm Sandy De Silva. Let's take a look at what's been happening since last week. A coach carrying British tourists crashed in the French Alps, killing the driver and seriously injuring 3. A fertilizer plant explosion has ripped through buildings in the state of West Texas, leaving many dead, although there are no official figures yet of the number of fatalities. Hillsborough Justice campaigner Ann Williams has died after a long battle with cancer 3 days after the launch of a memorial for the victims on the 23rd anniversary of the disaster.
Now for what's coming up in today's news. Mona Azam looks at the cost of energy during the winter while we head down to the Venezuelan embassy in London to get the latest news and reactions on the controversial election after the death of former Prime Minister Leader Chavez. We also go down to Woolwich Crown Court to find out the sentences passed in the case of the 4 men found guilty of planning a terror attack in the UK.
The government have just started to imply their cuts to stop the deficit. But while cuts in energy bills rise, we take a look at the rising costs of energy bills. Our news correspondent Mona Azam reports.
North London residents complain about high bills during the coldest winter London has faced in 15 years. The extended winter forced a 30% increase in heating bills in Muswell Hill.
I think we spent about over £1,000 this year. Our heating and our electric bills were, our gas and our electric bills.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean we had a flood in our basement, so we had to have a dehumidifier, and that obviously incurred a lot more expense. But yeah, certainly it's gone up this year.
I mean, as compared to last year, and you've also got a family at home as well. I mean, how high are your bills, and how much of your budget goes to heating and electricity, especially during winters?
Well, during the winter we have the heating on all the time, so a large proportion of our budget is on that, and with the baby as well, it's 24/7. It's only now that the weather's improved that we've been able to lower it down and switch it off. We've had our windows replaced with double glazed windows. That's making quite a lot of difference. They're actually being replaced as we speak at the moment, because we used to get a lot of draft. It's a very old property, so the double glazing is a good idea. And yeah, just closing the doors to keep the warmth within each room.
It's gone up. The cost of electricity's gone up anyway, but my bill has gone up greatly. What exact figures? Probably at least £50.
Normally I used to pay around £100 or £120 a month on gas and electricity both during winters, but now obviously it has gone up to around £150, so maybe £600 in the last 4 to 5 months period I have paid for my gas and electricity, because obviously the heating has to be on almost, and because this time the winter has extended a bit. It normally used to end up by Feb, but now it has gone till March, and even a bit of April has gone into it.
Haringey Council have suggested ways in which to keep energy expenditure to a minimum by ensuring provisions are in place to lower heating loss within homes. With a higher heat loss through roofs and walls, residents will benefit financially in the long run without having to rely on extra layers to keep them warm.
Venezuelans have been rushing to the polls to elect a new leader after the death of Hugo Chavez. Our reporter Courtney Robert John headed down to the Venezuelan embassy in the UK to find out more.
Grafton Way in Camden, central London, is home to the consulate for the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. Following the untimely death of President Hugo Chavez, today is the day Venezuelans at home and abroad get the chance to elect a new president. The stakes are high in this election, as the two candidates, Nicolas Maduro and Henrique Capriles, have opposing ideas for the future of Venezuela.
I came from Glasgow, so it is very important for me to come every time an election is. It's 14 years of oppression in my country, and I want to change this.
There is quite a lot of possibility on both sides to achieve some sort of successes, we can call it that way. It's a very difficult time in terms that whoever gets elected is going to have a pretty tough time. So of course I'm interested that Caprillo wins. If he wins, he's going to go against an organization, a government that is mostly controlled by the Chavez people, and that is the Congress, that is the Supreme Court, the electoral system, and very important as well, most of the local governors in different states. So it's going to be pretty tough to govern on that setting. Having said so, I think it will also give a breath of life. We have a group on the back that are arriving. It's a big group, and they are chanting a little bit. So.
The excitement was not to last for these Capria supporters, as it was confirmed that the man handpicked by Hugo Savage to continue the revolution had won by a majority of less than 2%. The consulate was closed for business today, and the people in the Venezuelan embassy declined to comment. This is Courtney Robert John for Midday Met.
London Met has been granted their license back to admit international students. The Home Office had previously suspended their license after allegations of visa abuse. Reporter Jean Dean finds out.
The official statement was released on April the 11th after the university lost its license last August. I spoke to Malcolm Gillies, the Vice-Chancellor of the university, about the reinstatement and how students can expect changes from it.
Well, I hope we're not hassling our international students throughout the year at any time, but the answer to that is no. We're expecting that continuing international students will be able to roll their visa over, so they won't be having especially to put in an application for a further year of their current course. But also we're not expecting there'll be any further language tests or some of the other things that were occurring in the last year. Well, in response to the issues with the border agency, it's good that the border agency itself has been coming up with clearer statements of issues such as how a university uses discretion in assessing English language, or issues such as how attendance is monitored in class. And so with that basis, we believe that we're in a good position now to meet the requirements of the border agency as they are currently stated. The good news that now that we have the licence back to take international students, we want to make sure that we pick up from where we left off. And so we've got a big program going across particularly many countries in Asia and Africa, and also some in Europe, to make sure that students are aware of the wide range of courses the university offers, and make sure that we can turn around their applications in time for them to come here in September. Because we have affordable quality education. All of our courses are quality assured because we're here in London, and because I believe we give some of the best value for money of any of the courses available in Britain. They're all very good reasons why I think students from around the world would want to continue to come and study here at London Met.
The university currently has a Tier 4 licence, which means it can only take on a limited number of international students. However, it can apply for a highly trusted sponsor status in 12 months' time. Despite the situation, 5,000 students have already applied for 2013 September courses. Back to you in the studio.
We're live to Woolwich Crown Court to find out the sentences passed to the 4 men found guilty of planning terror attacks in the UK. We now speak to Amy Brown. Amy, can you hear us?
Yes. The Luton terrorist trial came to an end this morning at Woolwich Crown Court at the sentencing of Saeed Iqbal, Mohammed Ahmed, Umar Ashraf and Saeed Hussein. The 4 Islamic extremists pleaded guilty to terrorist charges, and after an extensive trial into the discussions of terrorist plotting involving the engagement of special training in Pakistan, the judge came to a verdict. He stated all men, after examination, continue to pose significant risk to the public through their actions and beliefs. However, the sentences do reflect that of the involvement of each individual to the charges against them. Saeed Iqbal and Mohammed Ahmed received 11 years, 3 months custodial sentence. Umar Ashraf received 6 years, 9 months, and Saeed Hussein 5 years, 3 months. Both will be released after serving 1/2 of their sentences and be put on licence for the remainder of that sentence.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Well, in today's sports news, Tottenham Hotspur ladies suffered a setback in their fight for survival in their Women's Premier League after losing 3-1 at home to Yeovil Town. Our sports correspondent Mo Saudi has more.
2 early goals from Leyton Orient put Spurs on the back foot straight away. Spurs pulled one back in the second half, but couldn't find a way back into the game. The 3-1 results put a serious dent in Spurs' hopes of surviving relegation.
It wasn't our best performance. I think we were a little bit complacent after the last week victory against Brighton, so we started a little bit slow, windy conditions, not the best ones. tough team as well. They were quite strong physically. So we have some problems at the first half. We went down 2-0. Second half we came back, but we got that goal back. We keep fighting, but no over day today.
Pleased with the first half, not so pleased with the second half. Tottenham came out strongly in the second half. It was a good and well-deserved goal. And they gave us a bit of concern right the way through the second half. Pleased we finished it off with that last goal. A couple of well-taken strikes in the first half gave us the opportunity to build on that win. And
it started great, and we all know that anyway. But we came out in the change room. We just said we're going to change it around, and as long as we came out positive and fought for it, and I think we did. So happy.
Okay, do you think you'll be safe from relegation this season?
No, if I'm honest, if we play how we did in that second half, I think we'll be good. We'll be good. We just got to keep our heads in it and concentrate, focus.
Meanwhile, Chelsea moved a step closer to Champions League qualifications with a 3-0 win over West London rivals Fulham.
Let's take a look at this weekend TFL updates. There's no service on the Circle Line between King's Cross and Moorgate. On the Hammersmith and City, there is no service between King's Cross and Barking. Meanwhile, on the Metropolitan Line, there is no service between Baker Street and Aldgate. There is also delays on the Piccadilly Line. And now for the weather. Finally, spring is here with temperatures expected to rise next week. The prolonged winter is over, with today's temperatures set to rise to 15 degrees by this afternoon. Next week's temperatures are set to go as high as 17 degrees.
Well, that's it for today's programme. Don't forget to tweet us your thoughts on Midday Met, or you can email us on middaymet@gmail.com. I'm Sakando Raquel.
And I'm Sandy De Silva. Thank you for watching. See you in 2 weeks' time.